Hello, it's Caroline at For the Love of Crochet, and today's episode I have quite a few finished objects. One of these projects was just so sentimental. It just got me in the feels. So if you are new here, I was commissioned to make a couple, an amigurumi couple. And of course I didn't have a pattern of this couple, so I'm basically using the patterns that I have and reconstructing them to make them fit the people that I am trying to create in amigurumi. And I've taken all week to do this, and it is so rewarding. I almost teared up a bit at this project. Look forward to showing them what I made. So it's going to be a gift. She's purchasing it as a gift, and it's just, I am so proud of myself, and I'm really happy about it. And I've just been having so much fun being a maker. And one of the things that I had been struggling to do was learning to sew. And it's taken me, I guess, maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And I always said, I have a hard time putting down my hook to start sewing. Well, this past couple of weeks, I felt like, oh, I don't want to stop sewing. But I did manage to crochet a bit because I had to put my foot down. But I so wanted to just keep sewing. But then I wouldn't have anything to share for you all because the main part of this channel is crochet. And let me know if you guys dabble in other crafts. So I have a lot to share, not just crochet and amigurumi and sewing, but a couple of other things as well. So I hope you're here, and if you like any of these things, hit that like and subscribe, and I look forward to chatting with you. All right, here we go. Previous episode, everyone suggested that I do the couple that was in here. Right here on the back of this book, and then I was going to give them hair and change their wardrobe to make them fit the couple. I tried this. I was so not liking it. Just looks like a blob, and I can't do this. I can't do this. So her head came out so small, and I was stuffing it so much to try and fill it out more, and I felt like I was just going to get holes. So I just continued on. And this is the body. And I'm like, this is a ball. I don't want her to be a ball under there. So I kept going with the pattern. I'm like, okay, let me try the dress at the same time. So I was working the dress, and I'm like, this isn't even, I mean, I know that's the way it is in here. But if I went as long as they did, I was like, oh, that's too long. And so I stopped it, and then I tried to give it a little ruffle of some sort, but it just looks like a blob. This would be an awful doll of somebody. And I kept trying to change it, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. My husband's like, just keep going. It'll probably turn out right. Well, the feet came out fine. Those came out great. I am not going to make this as the doll. I did not like it. Not sure if I'm going to finish that one either. A lot of crochet podcasters have been, suggesting this book or using this book to represent characters from books, especially like Ginger Cat Crochet. She's doing a by hook or by crook. And a lot of them use this book. And so I thought, you know what? That is an easy doll. Let me see if I can try and work that up. If you're unfamiliar with these are great books. The same designer. These are the only two that I have. I think she has one more that says More Crochet Iconic Women. So it's like the second part of this. So that's the only book of hers that I don't have. So I went with a pattern from here. Okay. And it is so crazy because these are all women, right? So I have to change it to make it look like a couple, a boy and a girl. And the first one that I did was this one. So this is supposed to be Jane Goodall. And if you notice her pants, she has sort of like a belt and a collared shirt, and she has like no curly or crazy hair. So I thought, okay, let me try and use this one as the boy doll. I said, oh my gosh, this brought me so much joy and so much happiness. I loved it. So he does dress up. He does have glasses. He has a mustache. He has a full head of hair, dark hair, and he wears dress shoes. So I gave him these like very beautiful dark blue slacks, black. And then I tried to give him a tie, but it was kind of curling. So I tried to sew it down and it just made it a little wonky, but that's okay. I wish I could show you a picture, but they never take pictures. And I am just so thrilled at how he came out. Now, this was her number one request. She wanted to make sure she had a representation of him. Now, these are the glasses that I did pick up at Hobby Lobby. They were like $2.99 or $3.99, but they do come out the back there. They're too big, but I think it's going to be fine and she will love it. And I just kind of have it in here. Now, I had a hard time with the hair. I did not do the one that was in the pattern because it looked too feminine. I did 3 different skull caps. I did try to use this dark gray one, and it was too thick and it just looked too feminine. So I just played with the stitches over and over, and then I increased a certain slant, and then I gave him a little hairline right here that's visible in person, but probably not as much in camera. And I am so thrilled. Like I said, I didn't tear up on this one though. I teared up on her. So let me show you her. So in the book, I went with this doll pattern, which is Emmeline Pankhurst. Emmeline Pankhurst. I did not do the skirt because she doesn't wear dresses, but I did like that she had a cardigan. And this couple, she loves to wear the same black cardigan. She has it all the time. And so I wanted to do that. And then her hair, yeah, I did all of her, but I gave her pants and same hairstyle, but I didn't put it in the front. I only did it in the back because just not very fluffy up here. It's fluffy around her sides. So wait till you see her. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, so I said she often wears like a very comfortable pant, a very like t-shirt, baggy t-shirt type. And so I just gave her a little ruffle around her top there, gave her some nice comfortable pants. Sometimes I see her in socks, so I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna give her some socks. And then there is the black cardigan that she wears. And I love this little detail around the top of the blouse here. And yeah, so there's her hair. Now her hair is going gray. So this dark gray color just picks up the right amount of darkness, but yet picks up a little bit of, hey, I'm going gray a little bit. I blushed her cheeks, and I used, I want to say I used Craftably Ever After's eye tutorial, but basically, you know, after you watched it a couple of times, you just kind of do your own thing afterwards. And so it's very basically her tutorial, but I didn't like go to the tutorial, so hers is way better. But I do love the little lash part. Cassandra does that at Craftably Ever After. It's a great eye tutorial. if you are in need of some eyes. So I used it on this doll, and I just love how she came out. Now, this represents her so well. And I think she's gonna cry. I want to cry. It's so cute. I just love it. I love it. This has been, usually when I get commissioned to do a piece, it's usually a pain. Sometimes it's a pain, but this one was so fun. So once I changed from this to this, where the patterns just work up nicely, and then you can mix and match the pieces from the dolls, the different dolls, to make your own person. Isn't that darling? I just love it. They came out so awesome. So yeah, I did, and still am, tearing up just a little bit because it meant so much to me that I got it. I spent so long on this. This took so long. And I was not loving it. And when you come to a pattern and then you're loving it and it's working out, and it was perfect. My hubs for a long time has told me that I should crochet our family, and I just might, because this, you can take any of these pieces. My good friend Cassandra, my crochet bestie, she is doing a mix and match crochet challenge where you're doing exactly this, where you're taking a pattern and making it mimic whatever it is that you want it to be. Change up the feet, change up the hair, do what you have to do to make it match what you want visually. And so she has a challenge going on, which I'm sure you already know, because if you know me, you know Cassandra. So yeah, mix and matching these. I struggled a little bit with the hair, but I did, it's not that hard. So I managed. So that was my most favorite make this week, and it was a lot of fun watching it come to life. Okay, the next thing I want to show you, we're going to bounce around a little bit because I made this quilt top not too long ago, and this was the one with the bunnies. Well, there's this big thing about quilting, right? So that's making your little sandwich where you're taking, to my crochet friends, you have a back fabric, then you have the cotton in the middle, and then you have the quilt top. And then you make a sandwich and you sew, basically quilt these three together to become a blanket. And then this is the binding that you put on at the end. Well, I met a wonderful long arm quilter who has been doing long arm quilting for a while, and she was recommended by quite a few people. So I wanted to just give it a try because this was my very first quilt, and then the second quilt was my Tula Pink one with the lions, and then the third one I'm going to show you in just a second. But this one I had done by a long arm quilter, and that is just so I could make a decision when it comes to quilting something. What is it that I want to do? How much of an expense is it? And so I had this long arm quilted, and it is not cheap, and it's not something I can afford. And I'm about to make a big king size blanket for my bed, and I would love to long arm quilt that, because quilting something that's so huge, king size, is not going to be easy for my domestic sewing machine. And I have quite a few options, but I've been watching another quilter who's called Pin Cut Sew, and she just kind of opened up a new world to me that I hadn't thought of, and that is to hand quilt something. And so I may tackle, so I'm going to do variety and see so that I play around with all of these, long arm, quilt it on my machine, hand quilt it, or free motion quilt, which is what I've done already with my Tula pink one. Now, let me just show you this one. Oh, beautiful. I don't know if you can actually see the quilting, but maybe on the back. Oh yeah, there you go. You can see those beautiful designs. So I picked all these, a few different designs. So she gave me a border design that goes along the border that I picked. I picked them all. And then around the bunnies, she gave these she did a different one that I had picked. And then she went around the bunny and gave him whiskers. I mean, it's so beautiful and well done. I love it. I do like that I did it and gave it a try. And then I went ahead and gave it a border. This little border here. And this is like a minky. It's so soft. Happy that it's done. It looks beautiful. I love it. Now on to a little bit more sewing. Well, crochet and sewing. I just learned how to do this rope bowl. Now, I'm not happy with my color choices. I was actually very ill when I was doing it. And so I was not doing well at all. I was so sick. But I wanted to finish it. I did not finish it because I want to she does something to where you can make a little design with the beads and the rope and have it off to the side. But I don't know how she does it. And so I'm going to ask her when I see her again. So I just have them looped on and I'm ready to find out how to do that. This was my very first experience on rope bowl making. And I do love the gray, and it has a little bit of sparkle in it. I wasn't happy with my choices of fabric, and then I switched up threads, and because this was a introduction to it, I wanted to play around a lot using different stitches and designs and changing the thread. But if I were to do this again, I think I may stick with this gray and this stitch here. And inside it's holding all my little hexies. So this is the blanket. It's going to be a hexagon blanket that I've been working on. This was from my bullet journal. And this is a combination of two people's designs. So the Cypress Textiles is the design of the hexagon that I'm using. And this design of putting these hexagons together like this is from, I'll have it linked right here because I'm drawing a blank right now. But she did such a beautiful job. And so I so wanted to recreate that. And so I've been working on my hexagons and I've been putting them in my new little bowl here. Working out great. It's filling out quite nicely with all my hexagons. And this is the rose hexagon that's going to be the tree portion. The tree portion of my tree here. I finished all the brown and I finished all the grass. And I've been working a bunch of the blues. I have a ton of blue ones in here. And they're all in various colors because of the yarn I chose. But something about this yarn, these little motifs, is they're so easy to lose. So that's why I started sticking them in this bowl. Everywhere I look, I find one that I've dropped. And so I'm trying to contain them so I don't lose them and have to make more. But this is holding all my lovely hexagons. It's going to be the Beautiful blanket. I very much love this yarn and how it feels and how it's working out. I don't like it for amigurumi. This is what I tried to use for the amigurumi portion, not liking it for amigurumi, so I don't think I'll be using that for our toys, but I do love it for blanket. It makes it so light. I just love it. I just realized I didn't talk very much about this bowl. So this is the rope, and the rope I got at my local sewing shop, and the person who taught us how to do this is coming out with a book next year, and she's going to have all kinds of her designs and her tips, and she did a fantastic job of teaching this class, and I would like to make more and do better at. I think one of the parts that I struggle with is the transition from no fabric to zero fabric and then starting the fabric again. I need to perfect that technique. So it's like starting and beginning a new color. I totally missed a section here. And then these are stitches that I have on my sewing machine. I tried to, I want to show you the one I did at the base. There we go. So this is the base, the bottom. It's so cool. Now, I went a little crazy. I was not feeling well, and so I want to change my colors. But it's a very nice and sturdy. I really love it. But she's coming out with a book, and so I'm really anxious. I would very much love to pick that book up, but it's not going to be out until next year, 2025. I recently shared in a video of a way to get free amigurumi books or free things from Amazon, and I use this app called Fetch that I heard about from Julie at KS Mom Crochets. If you don't know her, she's another crochet podcaster, and she has a ton of ideas. She has lovely little tidbits to share with you on organizing or finding resources as well. So Fetch was one of them. And what I wanted to let you know is I have since collected 3 Amazon gift cards. I just go with the $25 one because to earn the $50 gift card from Amazon. Now you can get gift cards anywhere, but let me just tell you what happened. So I've collected 3 $25 gift cards so far. They have now put when I used to scan receipts, I would get a lot of points, especially if I bought a certain product. I must say that once I collected my second one, they took a lot of those bonus points away from me, and they wanted to track me or something and wanted me to play games. I don't allow it, so I never do it. And then the third time when I collected my third $25 gift card, they actually put a ban on me, and they said, "Oh, you scanned too many receipts. Try again in a couple of days." So then, so they started doing that to me, and I no longer get any bonus points. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. If you're using Fetch, they are being stingy now. They're being stingy with me now that I've earned three $25 gift cards. But nonetheless, in that video, a very special subscriber and viewer saw my Amazon wish list and noticed that I had a book that she had in her collection that she was willing to share with me. And so she sent it to me. Ta-da! And it was this Flower Babies. Oh, I looked through it. Thank you so much. It came with little stickers on it and little pretty paper. She did a lovely job at packaging. I suck at that. I suck at packaging, so I'm trying to get better, but she did a lovely gift for me, and it was this Flower Babies. And if you know Rumi Mill, Cindy at the Rumi Mill just recently did this these patterns and put them in little tiny pots. They were so darling. And I was looking through it and I found some I want to make. So thank you so much for sharing your book with me. I look forward to making something from here, and they're so small, so they'll be easy to whip up. I want to say it was, gotta make the rose, right? Gotta make the rose. The rose is so pretty. It's so tiny. Look at that. Such a cute little book. So I look forward to making something from here. Thank you to Ruth for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so next project. So I did this one, and I said I wanted to do a more elegant one that's not all bunnies and pink, right? I messed it up, you guys. I messed it up, but let me know what you think. Let's take a look. Okay, so here it is. This is my new Annalise. This is my new heart quilt, and this is Annalise, and it is a free download pattern. And then here was my design wall, my planning. So these were all the fabrics I was going to use. They looked good like that. So what is throwing me off is these two colors together, that they're lined up together, is throwing me off a bit. I feel like it's not mixing well, but it's still very pretty. But I really loved the pink colors, and this one is my favorite. And so what I'm supposed to do is I was supposed to bind the quilt in this color, but I'm changing my mind and I'm going to do it in this color. I'm hoping that binding will bring out all the pinks. So yeah, that is the quilt. Let me know what you think. Of all things, right? This is the closest thing I have to turquoise, and I'm just not liking it with that middle green color. So that is the bummer. I picked the green because I feel like it pulls it out of the roses. I hope it turns out awesome with this as my binding. It is so pretty, very pretty. But of course, you know, when it's folded over on both sides, and you know, you only get this much to see. But I'm hoping that will bring out the pink. So we shall see. And for the back of that quilt, I'm gonna go with this very light pink. Like I said, it's like a flannel, but very pretty and soft. And so I'm hoping I can back it with this. But before I quilt it, I would like to make a label, because it's so important to make a label. I want a year and my name, and this is my first love of sewing, and so I want to make sure that I capture that, and that can go for crochet blankets and crochet things as well, to label it. Okay, so I've been recently sharing my love for fabric, Tula Pink, and now this guy, I think it's a boy, Alexander Henry. The Angry Bird People. This is one of his fabrics, and it's just so, I like it. At first I was like, no, I don't want those angry faces, but the more I look at it, it draws my attention and it makes me think, and it's art, so I like it. So this is just a big yard of fabric, and I think I get 3 of these ladies in the fabric. I have no idea what I'd make with it, but I definitely want to take her out or use her in something fantastic. And then this is another viewer was sharing with me that I did not, so I have this fabric, but I didn't have the one that she was talking about. So I looked it up. I think it was a a crafty season. I think that was you. So she mentioned this fabric. And so I went on the hunt because, again, I wanted this girl who's sewing. So funny. So the name of this fabric is called A Ghastly Craft, the Alexander Henry Fabric Collection. And I mean, there's just some cool pieces on here. There, we got a guy here knitting. We got her sewing. Lots of cute, lots of interesting characters on here. And yeah, I just want to cut them out and use them. We got a cat. We got a girl up here who's dressing up and got scissors. So just a lovely, neat fabric. So I am adding to my collection of this designer, Alexander Henry. Okay, so just very much enjoying being a maker. Well, with sewing, I am finally realizing now I have loads of fabric scraps. Tons of scraps. This is all from the heart quilt, because you have to cut off those pieces to make the heart. Tons of fabric left over. So I started getting my scraps. I have no idea what I'm doing yet, but I started making just a panel of scrap fabrics. I think I'm going to make some zipper bags or some drawstring bags, because Little Drops of Wonderful and Crochet Luna are doing the Dodgy Bag Mal 24, and it's basically drop all your hindrances of perfectionism and making a perfect drawstring bag and just make a bag. Make a dodgy bag. And I'm all about the dodgy bags. So I've made these two panels using scrap fabrics. How many of you would like something like that, using scrap fabrics? So they had this like where you could exchange. Anybody who wanted to participate in the Dodgy Bag Mal exchange, you and another person would exchange dodgy bags. And so I'd be making one for somebody else, and they'd be making and sending one to me. I thought that was so cool, but I didn't want the pressure. I was a little nervous about the pressure and wanting it to be good, which is totally despite the point. No, which is totally defeating the purpose of making a dodgy bag. But anyway, I'm putting together some scrap fabric stuff because I don't know what to do with all these scraps now. Okay, so this next project is in a recent bag I made. And I think it was a little hard to see what it was. So I said I made the mistake of using a thread that didn't match my zipper, but instead matched the fabric. Not a big deal, but I did the contrasting quilting on the back where I picked a bunch of different stitches to use and try, you know, because when else are you going to get to play with all these fancy stitches on the sewing machine? So I've recently been watching, I don't know what it is, I'm just getting into enjoying being a maker, and sewing is bringing me such confidence. Cross stitch has been like a little scary for me. Intimidating. That's a better word. Intimidating. But I've been seeing some cross stitch that I really want to do. And so I bought a kit. And it's perfect for this type of project bag. So you get all the threads. And this is what I picked up. It's going to be this. All these different little squares with different seasons, probably. There's 2 bunnies, 2 penguins, 2 owls. I don't know what this kit is. It's a forest calendar. Now I see it. I will try to link it below. It says forest calendar. So it comes with all the stuff. I picked it up because I want to give it a try. And I had a $25 gift card for Barnes & Noble. And so I just went and picked up another cross stitch. And it came with a little cross stitch kit as well. But I didn't like the kit. But I do like all the little... I have quite a variety of little graphs in here. And I like having something I can hold. So there's a bunch of little ones, and we'll see what happens. I just picked it up cross stitch. So that's something that I found intimidating and something that I didn't anticipate wanting to start this year, but I just got an itch to do some cross stitch. So I think that is all for today. Let me know what you're working on and let me know what you think of that quilt. But yeah, I gotta make a quilt label. I want to embroider a quilt label or make a quilt label. Thank you again for joining me, and I shall see you again soon. Bye.